I had to bring a friend to the hospital for a surgery in Chapel Hill, and so I have a couple of days here, and was just walking around and found the Chapel Hill Arboretum, which I've never seen before. And it's so neat. It's probably exam week right now, and so there's a lot of students out here reading. It's such a pleasant place, but I wish I could capture the smell. I'm not sure why the smell of all the plants are so well trapped in here, but I went by a fig tree and I was like, that's a fig, and the cypress, and then the pine tree. So obviously being springtime and everything's bloomed out, that's why, but it's almost like it's a little forest that it's just sort of like the microenvironment here is, I guess, kind of trapping everything. The traffic's not messing with it or anything like that, and it's really, really pleasant. I've never seen this before. I haven't spent too much time here, but in the past, but it's quite an interesting thing to just come across. There's a lot of history here too. This is one of I think the oldest, or at least it's the oldest public university, at least by its charter. I think it's the second oldest by the actual open date. So Chapel Hill's been here a long time, the University of Chapel Hill. And so there's a lot of history here, and it's had a long time to establish itself. It's got a lot of vintage America feel to it. What is this? It's like a West Coast type of tree. Let's see what it is. Yeah, that's a coastal redwood. I thought I could. If you've ever, usually if you go see them in California, you don't see them this small. That's the redwood, sequoia. They're beautiful. Wow, look how long the branches already are on this. I don't know, this tree's been here for a while, but the ones that you see when you actually visit the redwood forest in California, they're all, I haven't spent much time looking at those either, but I didn't see any that were this young. So the branches were obviously way up in the sky. They weren't dragging on the ground like this. Isn't that neat? There's a redwood tree in North Carolina. And you can see how big the thing's gonna get. Those branches are huge. Sticking out here, ready to do their thing up in the sky. That's so neat. Muir Woods outside of San Francisco, there in the Bay Area. I don't know which town it's actually in. It'll be maybe like it's past Sausalito, and anyhow, that's quite a experience to walk through the giant redwoods. It's beautiful. It's a nice day to be in the Arboretum, isn't it?
It really is.
Yeah, it smells so, I mean, you can smell everything. It's so nice. Yeah, it's cool. Beautiful, yeah. Yeah, that's another redwood. How about that? This is more of a cypress tree. That might be it's just the red cedar. Very common here in North Carolina. And they're beautiful trees too. And they grow a lot differently depending on whether or not they're in a windy area or in a area that's protected by the wind. They look totally different. depending on where they grow. There's a cherry tree, our typical isn't it? Maybe not. What is that? I think it's a cherry tree. Do they have a marker for it? I don't see some kind of fruit tree. I think it's a cherry. No, maybe not. Well, it could be an apple tree. That's probably an apple tree. Oh well. It's a mystery. There's a plum tree. That's cool. I didn't expect to see a redwood tree today. There's a trident maple. They have a lot of maples in here. They got some really big trees that have been planted here for a while. They got a huge bald cypress tree just over there somewhere. But, you know, the more you learn, especially when you're young, if you can learn something about the plants and the animals and any subject matter, it sticks with you through life, and it doesn't necessarily make a person smarter to know a lot of things, although you can kind of say that, but it does give you a lot of, it's like a palette, you know, it's like an artist who has more colors to work with. The more you teach yourself, the more you can kind of appreciate things, and you can help other people learn, you know, if they have questions, and you can kind of put different things together, and it just helps. It helps, and to learn the language of something, you know, every area of there's another one of these, what they call a water hickory. It's a walnut, but this one's, I think, dead. They have another one over there, but we see they're very very common all through North Carolina. But when the younger you are, as you pick up knowledge, the more you can sort of use that through life as just a way to appreciate things, and to, like I said, to learn the language of every subject area helps too. Like I don't mean necessarily that you have to learn a foreign language, but which is good too, but to learn the language of a subject, to learn the language of biology, or to learn the language of chemistry, or learn the language of art, or the language of music, or the language of dance. Sometimes in industry we call it jargon, the industry jargon, and it just helps you to understand things, and it makes things interesting. And you can be really good at Trivial Pursuit too, which isn't the most important thing, but it's an added benefit. But it's also good to learn of something specific too. I mean, sometimes we got to have a balance between learning a lot of things and then also focusing on something that's important to us, that becomes your occupation or your career, and that requires a kind of a different kind of focus. And so that's a lot of times you find people who are very, very successful in a certain area, they don't seem like they are as broad in subject matter that they might know, but they're really good at the thing that they do, and so that's also important to also have an area that you got more of a specialty in. It's not just important just to know a lot of stuff. I'm just saying that makes life kind of, it's nice to be able to know a little bit about the birds. And is that an oriole? That might have been an oriole. Maybe like a robin, but I don't think it was a robin. All right, well, this is my interesting thing I found today. This is some kind of dogwood tree. Little dogwood tree. I've seen these before, but it's not your typical dogwood that we think of. The dogwood flower is the North Carolina state flower. Is that another redwood? Might be. But anyhow, I didn't expect to see a redwood tree today. I love you.